Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I have watched Hawkeye episode 1 and 2, the new Hawkeye series. They dropped 2 episodes on the first day, so I'm going to package this review with both of them, and yeah, this is going to be a full spoiler review, so obviously I'm talking about everything. I'm just going to jump right into it. Okay, so this is based off of, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, the Matt Fraction run of the comics. I did read at least one volume of that run. I don't think I read the whole thing, at least I believe I didn't. But I do remember this, and I know that this is essentially the most popular Hawkeye story that they have in the comics, really. At least it's the one that I hear people talking about all the time when it comes to Hawkeye. So, and you know, look, if you had told me several years ago that like, oh, they're making a Hawkeye show, I would have been like, okay, I'll watch it, I guess. And that's really how I was for the longest time hearing about the show, because I'm like, oh, but you got Loki and What If and WandaVision and all these other like really exciting prospects, and then you have Hawkeye, which, you know, obviously he's always been like the butt of the joke, and they kind of reference that pretty much throughout all the movies, that he's Hawkeye, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a dude, but they play that up in this show. They play up that he's just a guy so much, and I gotta say it, I enjoyed this show. In fact, I think I like the character of Hawkeye more here than I have in a while. Don't get me wrong, Endgame and even Civil War, like, they built up Hawkeye a lot to like, okay, I kind of like this character now more than I did it back in the first Avengers, at least. You know, in that first Avengers movie, they tried to play him all serious and it didn't really work. I think adding in the humor of like, you know, he can be, you know, you can have the humor, he can be the straight man, right, where he's like, he's so serious, but like everyone around him's like, you're Hawkeye, come on, you know, I know who you are. Like, you know, you're just a guy. So they play up that humor. He remains the, you know, he's not, it's not that he's treated as a complete joke, but there is that element of like, you know, he's got to go to a normal like Walgreens and pick up some, you know, medication or something. He doesn't have all this technology and all this money and all this other stuff to help him out when he gets hurt. You know, he has to bandage himself up like a normal guy. So yeah, just overall, I really enjoyed this show so far. Kate Bishop being introduced, I was a little uncertain about this, only because they had that small moment in the beginning of Avengers Endgame where his daughter, like, he kind of called his daughter Hawkeye and he was teaching her how to shoot, and it seemed like they were kind of setting her up to be the next Hawkeye. And then I know in the comics this other character, Kate Bishop, gets introduced, and I was like, well, you already kind of have the daughter. I wouldn't mind if they just used the daughter, right? You already kind of had that moment in Endgame, but that's not what they're doing. So they did introduce Kate Bishop, and she's definitely you know, kind of a sarcastic, smart aleck, comedic relief character, but she has her serious moments too. And I think they play off each other really well, because she's the youthful one who's gonna, you know, sort of make the jokes and make like the obvious references and kind of be sort of self-referential type of thing, whereas he's older and he's tired and he's serious, and the dynamic works really well, you know. And of course they have Pizza Dog, who's just, everyone loves dogs, right? And I love that they just, Pizza Dog has his moments, you know, just being a dog. Also, the tracksuit mafia. I had forgotten about these guys who always say bro. So they are these Russian gangsters called the tracksuit mafia, and they are also sort of a comedic relief. You know, like Hawkeye in the second episode gets captured on purpose, and he's like, hey, look, I just came here to talk to your boss. You know, he easily gets out of whatever handcuffs they had him in, and they're like, no, we kidnapped you. You know, you are our hostage now. He's like, yeah. So it's just, this feels like the perfect sort of holiday show to watch. You know, obviously it helps, all the Christmas lights are everywhere, the giant Christmas trees everywhere. It just, I don't know, the comedy works. It's lighthearted, it's not too serious, but it does have its moments. Kate Bishop's mom is dating this new guy who is connected to some criminal underground element, although I suspect her mom is as well. I suspect her mom is involved with the criminal element, and she doesn't know that. I think that's what the big twist is going to be. There is a murder mystery here. You know, at the very beginning, I think the first episode, Kate goes to this dinner, and there's like this black market auction going on, and that's how the whole Ronin suit gets involved, which I'm glad they talk about the Ronin suit, because apparently no one knew who Ronin was, which makes sense, right? Because otherwise the world would be like, hey, Hawkeye murdered people. I mean, yeah, they were criminals, but he was like straight up just killing folks for like 5 years during Endgame, or you know, well, in the between the events of Infinity War and Endgame. You know, he was just out there being a murdering vigilante. So I'm glad they established that no one knew that he did this. And apparently, because the Avengers compound got blown up, people were just able to go in there and just start taking stuff. There's like a watch that some of the criminals were after. I'm sure that's gonna be a thing, something about that watch, and then the Ronin costume, and I'm sure plenty of other things were in that compound that are now just out there. They're just out there, and no one's looking for them apparently. None of the Avengers, at least so far, it doesn't seem like any of the Avengers have been like out there trying to recover all of their stolen stuff. It's just out there. So, you know, okay. I hope they explore that more, because you know, we've known for a while, you know, way back in Spider-Man Homecoming, we knew that there was like a whole black market for alien tech and Avengers tech and stuff like that. But now it's like, oh yeah, people were just able to go right into the rubble of that compound, and there you go. So yeah, I love the way it was set up, and you know, this back to the murder mystery. One of the uncle of the guy that Kate Bishop's mom is dating, he dies, and he made some like really vague threats to the mom and said like, oh, she's trouble, I don't trust her, blah blah blah. And then the guy ends up dead. Now Kate Bishop of course suspects that it's the guy who's dating her mom, but I think it's actually gonna end up being the mom who did it. I don't know that much about this comic run. I don't know if any of these characters that were introduced are supposed to later become other characters. I'm sure other people out there know that. You know, look, if it gets spoiled for me and they're like, oh yeah, her mom becomes so and so, this other supervillain or something, that's fine. I'm not going to be too upset if it gets spoiled, because that's just kind of the nature of comic book adaptations, right? But yeah, I'm definitely suspecting her mom is very much more involved. Maybe her dad is actually alive, because they have like this whole beginning thing with the first Avengers movie where you kind of see it all through Kate Bishop's eyes as a kid, which that was really cool, seeing a lot of that recreated. You even see the Hawkeye moment where he jumps off the roof. But her dad dies off screen, which, you know, if someone dies off screen, that is always kind of a red flag, you know what I mean? So something happened off screen. Did the mom kill the dad and then just say like, oh, he must have gotten caught in the explosion of the building? You know, or is the dad still alive? He's still out there and he's behind everything? Who knows? Also, there are rumors that Kingpin Wilson Fisk is going to be in the show. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if something got disproven by now or what, but I remember those rumors being a thing. Maybe there are Easter eggs that I missed, so I'm sure I'll watch some of those breakdown videos and be like, oh yeah, he's definitely in the show. But yeah, overall, just this was great. This was pretty damn good. I think it felt like this is the tone that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was trying to go for, and sometimes they hit it, but this already feels like a more successful version of that. You know, you have like the pairings of the two characters. One is much more serious and trying to, like, you know, be like, you know, dark about things, you know, and the other one is okay with being more of a comedic element, you know. It feels like they were trying to do that with Falcon and Winter Soldier. It didn't work as well. Don't get me wrong, I love Sam and Bucky's you know, their whole dynamic also, but this feels like it works a lot better. It feels like what they were going for. So anyways, yeah, that's the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, the TV show, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I believe they're coming out on Wednesdays. I think that's, you know, they started that with Loki, right? They're coming out on Wednesdays, or did they start that with What If? Anyways, so I'm assuming next Wednesday is when the next episode comes out. And yeah, I'm excited, honestly. Like, is Kingpin gonna show up? I appreciate that it is like a mixture of like, okay, there's some criminal elements here, there's like a murder mystery here, who's the real bad guy, but also it's like it's gonna be lighthearted. We're gonna have some fun with it. There is a whole LARPing scene where Hawkeye, trying to get back the Ronin costume, he has to put on a costume and he has to like fight someone for pretend, and the guy's like, oh, you're Hawkeye, let me kill you, you know. So while he's not rich, you do see some of like the people recognize who he is, and they do, like, you know, he's not like the butt of a joke amongst real people on the street. You know, they're like, oh my god, you're an Avenger. That's still impressive, you know, that you're an Avenger. Still, you know, better than like a normal person, right? You're an Avenger. It's crazy. He's even, oh, sorry. That cold that I had is mostly gone, but it's still here a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, just overall, I had a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm really excited to see the twists. Again, I'm pretty certain that the mom is involved with all this somehow. She might even end up being the bad guy. Who knows? And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your theories. Let me know what you hope to come from this. Have you read the Matt Fraction run? Have you, do you know all about this? Did I pronounce his name right? Matt Fraction? That is who did this, right? Anyways, all right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.